Love Struck Cafe is the first non-festive Hallmark film that I have seen, to my knowledge. So I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was expecting some emotions, some looking back into the past, some romance, and a protagonist who I was either going to really like or really hate. And to be honest, I was a little bit wrong. All of the things that I've just named are present, apart from a protagonist I love or hate. Megan Quinn is very much a so-so character. She's played by Sarah Jane Morris. Her performance was fine. I have no issues with any of the acting in this. But I felt like she was a very flat character. Megan Quinn is an architect, and she's been given the chance to go back to her hometown to be in charge of a project of turning a lake and a lot of green space into an entertainment complex. But one of the problems is that there's a house on that land who belongs to Frances Figgins, and Mrs. Figgins used to know Megan when she was a little girl, but she has to convince Figgins to sell her house, and there's quite a bit of tension there. I will say, one thing I didn't like is how quickly Mrs. Figgins changed her attitude. She went back and forth constantly, and I feel like there was no stability with her opinions, and that was kind of irritating. It didn't make it difficult to follow. It just meant that her words were unbelievable, and there didn't seem like there was any sincerity in what she was feeling. But other than that, I thought it was a nice enough premise. There wasn't really any meat to it. There wasn't any substance. I, as a viewer, did not feel passionately one way or the other. I didn't care if they finally got the land and would tear the house down. I didn't care if they got to keep the house. So I didn't really give a toss about the resolution and how they kind of brought everything together. Similarly, I didn't care about Megan's romance or lack thereof. She meets or is reacquainted with Joe, an old high school sweetheart, I guess. And obviously they have quite a history. And as with any other Hallmark film, there's a lot of looking back on the years they shared together, and then pondering if there should be a future. I won't spoil it, but it's a Hallmark film. If you've seen Hallmark, you know what to expect. And that's about it. It's directed by Mike Robe and written by Robe and Robert Tate Miller. No complaints with the directing. I thought everything was edited nicely well together. Visually, it was quite an appealing film. There was no harsh lighting, dodgy camera angles, darkness, anything like that. And that's about as far as my opinions go. I'm very much, it was fine. It was not great. I didn't care about the protagonist. I didn't care about the narrative. Visually, it was nice. The title Love Struck Cafe, I think, is just rubbish. I will be perfectly honest. Not a bad title in general, but for this particular film, I just don't think it's the right title, and they could have got something significantly better. But that's a minor complaint. This is a very much take it or leave it popcorn film. Shove it on if you want something in the background that, if you're just doing bits and bobs around the house or the room and you want something on to listen to kind of half absent-mindedly. Yeah, I think Love Struck Cafe is a pretty decent one to go with. It's not a bad film. It's just not really got anything special going for it.